The last rays of the dying sun painted the dusty trail crimson. The stagecoach rattled through Comanche Pass, its passengers unaware their lives were about to change forever. Zara Whitfield clutched her bag. Her nerves were shot. 3 days she'd traveled from Boston to the Wyoming territory, exhausted but determined. She was headed to Grass Valley. She was the new schoolteacher. "Shouldn't be more than an hour now, miss," the elderly man across from her said, tipping his hat. Zara offered a weak smile. She was ready for a proper bed. She'd left everything behind in Boston. A stifling life she couldn't stand. This was her one chance at independence. The stagecoach lurched. The driver's voice called down, sharp with alarm. "Ryder coming up fast behind us!" The passengers looked at each other, nerves jumping. "Probably just a messenger," the banker from Cheyenne said. But his voice was thin. Then they heard it. Pounding hoofbeats, gaining on them. Fast. The driver snapped his whip, urging the team faster, but the coach was heavy. The road was steep. "I don't like this," the young miner muttered, his hand slipping inside his coat. The stagecoach jerked violently. Zara gripped the leather strap, her heart hammering. Then came the shout. "Stop the coach!" It was followed by a gunshot that cracked through the evening air. The banker turned white. "Bandits," he whispered. The coach slowed, grinding to a halt in a cloud of crimson dust. Zara felt ice in her veins. The door was yanked open. A masked man stood there, pointing a revolver right into the coach. "Everyone out," he demanded. "Nice and slow." One by one they stepped down into the dying light. Zara saw it all clearly now. 5 masked men on horseback, each armed. The driver and the shotgun messenger stood with their hands high. "Ladies and gentlemen," the leader announced. "This won't take long. Empty your pockets. Valuables into the bag. Nobody gets hurt." One of his men started moving among the passengers. The banker protested about his case. He earned a rough shove and the cold press of a pistol to his temple. After that, nobody resisted. When the outlaw reached Zara, she handed over her reticule. Her savings, gone. The money she'd saved for months to start her new life. "Please," she whispered, tears stinging her eyes. "The letter inside. It's my introduction. I need it for my position." The bandit hesitated. He roughly dumped the contents, pocketed the money, and tossed the letter back at her. "Don't need no paper," he muttered. Just as this was happening, another outlaw on the coach roof let out a whoop. "Got it, boss. The strong box." The leader nodded. "Blow it open." But as the bandit prepared the dynamite, another sound cut through the tension. Hoofbeats, steady, approaching. The outlaws tensed, hands moving to their weapons. "Ryder coming," the leader cursed. "How many?" "Just one. Looks like some fool traveler." "Deal with him. Quick." The lone rider appeared over the ridge. He was a silhouette against the purple sky. He approached at a steady pace, seemingly unconcerned by the robbery in progress. He reined his horse to a stop about 20 yards from the coach. For a long moment, he just observed. "Evening," he finally called out. His voice was deep, measured. "Seems like you boys are having yourselves a party." The leader of the outlaws turned his horse. "Ride on, stranger. This ain't your business." The man didn't move. He just rested his hands on the pommel of his saddle. "Well, now I'm afraid I can't do that. You see, I've got a personal interest in making sure this stagecoach reaches Grass Valley tonight." The outlaw leader snarled. "You're outnumbered 5-1. I suggest you reconsider." The stranger's posture was relaxed, but something in his demeanor changed. The air went cold. "Last chance," he said quietly. "Get on your horses and ride away." One of the outlaws, impatient, drew his pistol and fired a warning shot. The stranger's response was devastating. His hand moved in a blur, drawing and firing in one fluid motion. The outlaw who had shot first screamed, clutching his arm, his weapon falling to the dust. What followed happened so fast, Zara could barely process it. The stranger dismounted, using his horse as cover. He fired again. Another bandit was hit in the shoulder. "Get behind the coach!" the stranger shouted to the passengers. Chaos erupted. The remaining outlaws opened fire. Zara found herself frozen until the stranger appeared at her side, his hand gripping her arm. "Stay behind me until it's done," he commanded. He pushed her toward the coach, simultaneously drawing his second pistol. He positioned himself between her and the outlaws. His broad shoulders were a human shield. 2 more shots rang out. Another bandit fell. The remaining outlaws, clearly outmatched, began to retreat. Their leader, however, turned his horse in a desperate charge, straight for the coach. The stranger pushed Zara roughly to the ground. He fired. The shot hit the outlaw leader square in the chest. The man tumbled from his horse, landing with a heavy thud. The last 2 bandits, seeing their leader fall, turned and fled into the darkness. Just like that, it was over. Silence, broken only by the nervous whinnying of horses and the groans of the wounded. Zara's heart pounded in her ears. The stranger helped her to her feet. His touch was surprisingly gentle. "Are you hurt?" he asked. His eyes scanned her for injuries. She shook her head, unable to find her voice. Up close, she could see him, early 30s. Intense blue eyes in a sun-weathered face, a thin scar along his jaw. "Thank you," she finally managed. "You saved us all." He nodded once. "Damn fine shooting, mister," the driver said, climbing down. The stranger holstered his pistols. "You might want to tie up the wounded ones. Sheriff Blackburn in Grass Valley will want to question them." He knew the sheriff. As the driver secured the outlaws, the stranger retrieved his horse. "You know the sheriff in Grass Valley?" Zara asked. He nodded. "Known him for years." He extended his calloused hand. "I'm Dawson Ryder." "Zara Whitfield," she replied, taking it. "I'm the new schoolteacher." Something flickered in his eyes. Not surprise, recognition. "Miss Whitfield," he said. "The town's been expecting you. I was headed out to meet the stagecoach when I heard the shots." He was coming to meet her. Before she could ask, the driver interrupted. "Mr. Ryder, we need to get to town, but 2 of my horses took bullets. They're not badly hurt, but I can't push them." Dawson considered this. "Unhitch them. I'll ride ahead and send back help." He turned back to Zara. "If you don't mind riding double, Miss Whitfield, I can take you to town now. It's getting dark. It's not safe to remain here." Zara hesitated. The elderly gentleman stepped forward. "Go ahead, my dear. No sense in all of us waiting." "Very well," she agreed. "Thank you, Mr. Ryder." Dawson led her to his horse, an impressive black stallion. "This is Midnight," he said. With a little awkwardness, Dawson helped her mount, then swung up behind her. Zara was immediately aware of his proximity, the solid warmth of his chest against her back, his arms reaching around her to take the reins. It was an intimacy she had never experienced. She felt her cheeks flush. "Comfortable?" he asked, his voice close to her ear. "Yes, thank you." He set Midnight in motion, and they set off toward Grass Valley. The last light faded, the sky filled with stars. The air grew cool, and she was thankful for his warmth. "Have you been a teacher long, Miss Whitfield?" "I taught for 2 years in Boston. This is my first position as head teacher." "And you came all the way out here on your own?" There was admiration in his voice. "I did. My parents passed away. I needed a change." "I'm sorry about your parents," he said quietly. What about you, Mr. Ryder? Have you lived in Grass Valley long? Going on 5 years. Came west after the war. The war? Cavalry, he said. Union. That explained the horsemanship, the marksmanship. And now? Now I run a small ranch outside of town. Raise horses, mostly. Is that all? She asked, sensing more. He chuckled, the sound rumbling against her back. Perceptive, aren't you? I also serve as deputy sheriff when Sheriff Blackburn needs an extra hand. A deputy, that explained everything. They fell into silence. After a while, a faint glow appeared on the horizon. Lights. Almost there, Dawson said. Grass Valley. It's not much compared to Boston, but it's good people. As they drew closer, she saw the buildings, a church steeple, a main street. They rode down the street. Even late, people called out greetings. Dawson! He responded easily, occasionally introducing her. Our new schoolteacher. He said it with a note of pride. He stopped in front of a 2-story clapboard building. I've arranged for you to stay at Mrs. Henderson's boarding house. It's respectable and clean. He dismounted, then reached up to help her down. His hands encircled her waist. As he lowered her, their faces were close. She could see the flecks of gray in his blue eyes. Thank you for your escort, Mr. Ryder. My pleasure, Miss Whitfield. He retrieved her small valise. I should warn you, Mrs. Henderson, she's kind, but curious. As if summoned, the door opened. A plump woman in her 50s appeared. Dawson Ryder, is that our new schoolteacher you've brought? She called. It is indeed, Mrs. Henderson. May I present Miss Zara Whitfield? Oh, my dear, we're so pleased you've arrived safely. We were beginning to worry. There was a bit of trouble on the road, Dawson explained. Robbery attempt. I need to send men back with a wagon. Mrs. Henderson's eyes widened. Gracious, were you harmed, Miss Whitfield? Not at all, thanks to Mr. Ryder. Mrs. Henderson gave Dawson an approving look. Always in the right place, aren't you, Dawson? Well, come inside, dear. You must be exhausted. As Zara followed her, she turned back. Will I see you again, Mr. Ryder? Something warm flickered in his eyes. Count on it, Miss Whitfield. The school board meets tomorrow at noon. I'll be there. He tipped his hat, mounted Midnight, and rode off. Zara watched him go. Her life in Grass Valley had begun, and something told her Dawson Ryder would be a big part of it. The boarding house was clean, as promised. The next morning, Zara went down to breakfast. 3 other women were there. Miss Grant, the milliner, Miss Foster, from the telegraph office, Mrs. Wilson, a widow. They welcomed her warmly. But they exchanged knowing glances when Mrs. Henderson mentioned Dawson Ryder had escorted her. Mr. Ryder doesn't often involve himself with newcomers, Miss Grant remarked with a significant smile. He's a private man, Mrs. Wilson added. Keeps to himself, except for sheriff business. Or training those magnificent horses, Miss Foster said with a sigh. Zara felt a blush. He was very kind. Delayed indeed, Mrs. Henderson exclaimed. The poor girl was nearly killed in a robbery, ladies. This, of course, led to a barrage of questions. By the time breakfast was over, Zara knew her association with Dawson was already the talk of the town. After breakfast, Mrs. Henderson took her to the schoolhouse. It was simple, 1 room, but perfect. The council meets at noon, Mrs. Henderson said. That gives us time to get your trunk. At the Stagecoach office, her trunk was waiting. The agent also handed her a small leather pouch. Mr. Ryder left this for you, he explained. Said it belonged to you. Inside, Zara found her money, the money that had been stolen. A small note was with it. Retrieved from the outlaws. They won't be needing it where they're going. Dr. Zara clutched the pouch. Mrs. Henderson smiled knowingly. "That's Dawson for you. Does what needs doing, without fuss." At noon, they went to the mayor's office. 5 men were waiting. Mayor Gardner, Reverend Wells, Dr. Porter, Mr. Fleming, the banker, and Sheriff James Blackburn, and Dawson Ryder. He was standing slightly apart near the window. Zara felt his eyes on her as she entered. He just gave a polite nod. The meeting proceeded smoothly. Her experience, their expectations. Dawson remained quiet, just watching. As the meeting concluded, the council members departed. Soon, only Zara, Mrs. Henderson, and Dawson remained. "I'll escort Miss Whitfield back," Dawson offered. Mrs. Henderson's eyes twinkled. "How thoughtful. I actually need to stop at the general store." And just like that, she bustled out the door, leaving them alone. "She's not very subtle, is she?" Dawson remarked, a hint of amusement in his voice. "Not at all." Zara held up the pouch. "Thank you for returning my money. That was very kind." "It's yours. I just made sure it got back." He offered his arm. "Shall we?" As they walked, several townsfolk observed them with clear interest. "I'm afraid I've made you the center of attention," she said. His mouth quirked. "Small town. Not much excitement. Beyond a new teacher and the occasional robbery. Speaking of which, what happened to the outlaws? 3 are in jail. 1 died of his wounds. The 5th got away, but he won't get far." His voice held absolute certainty. They reached the boarding house. "The town's organizing a welcome social for you. Saturday evening, at the church." "That sounds lovely," Zara said. "I was wondering." He paused, looking uncharacteristically uncertain. "Would you allow me to escort you to the social?" Zara felt a flutter in her chest. "I would like that very much, Mr. Ryder." "Dawson," he corrected gently. "Dawson," she tested the name. "Then you must call me Zara." He nodded. His eyes held hers. "Until Saturday, Zara." She watched him walk away. She'd come seeking independence. She hadn't expected to find herself drawn to a quiet, enigmatic cowboy deputy within hours of her arrival. But there was something about him, a stillness, a strength. She was already wondering what she'd wear on Saturday. The next few days were a blur. Zara prepared the schoolhouse. She saw Dawson only in passing. A tipped hat, a quiet look. Saturday evening she dressed with care, a deep green silk from Boston. She came downstairs. He was waiting. He'd shaved. He was in a clean black suit. He turned as she entered, and the look in his eyes made her glad she'd worn the green. "You look beautiful," he said simply. "Thank you. You look quite handsome yourself." They walked to the church. "Nervous?" he asked. "A little. I want them to like me." "They already do," he assured her. "Word of how you handled the robbery has spread. They're impressed by your courage." I was terrified. Courage isn't about not feeling fear. It's about facing it. She glanced at him. "Is that what you learned in the war?" A shadow crossed his face. "Among other things." The church hall was full, the entire town. For 2 hours, Zara was introduced to dozens of people. Dawson remained close by, a quiet, solid presence. She noticed people treated him with respect, but also caution. "I don't think Mr. Ryder has ever attended a town social with a lady before," Mrs. Wilson whispered to her. "He usually makes an appearance, then disappears." Zara glanced at Dawson, who was talking with Sheriff Blackburn. As if sensing her gaze, he looked up and met her eyes. A small smile. Then the music started. A local fiddler. Reverend Wells announced a Virginia reel. Dawson appeared at her side. "May I have this dance?" She accepted. He swept her into the lively dance. He moved with unexpected grace. Their hands met, parted, their eyes locked. Zara felt a connection, real and growing. As the evening ended, Mayor Gardner proposed a toast. "To Grass Valley's new schoolteacher," Zara blushed. "Thank you all," she said. "I look forward to becoming part of this community." Dawson waited patiently, then walked her home. The night was cool. She shivered. He removed his coat and draped it around her shoulders. They reached the porch. "I enjoyed myself," he said. "More than I have in a very long time." "Me too." She returned his coat. "I'll come for you tomorrow," he said. "After church, I'll show you my ranch, my horses." "I'd like that." He hesitated. Then he took her hand and raised it to his lips, a light kiss across her knuckles. "Good night, Zara." "Good night, Dawson." She watched him go. Boston would be scandalized. But this wasn't Boston. This was Wyoming. And she was very much looking forward to tomorrow. Sunday dawned clear and bright. After church, Zara changed and found Dawson waiting in the parlor. He'd brought a light buggy. "Thought this might be more comfortable than riding double again," he explained. The ride to his ranch took 20 minutes. The landscape opened up, rolling grasslands, mountains in the distance. "It's beautiful," Zara breathed. "It grows on you," he agreed. They crested a rise. His ranch came into view, a neat log house, a large barn, several corrals. "It's not much," he said. "It's wonderful," she replied, and meant it. A young man, Luke, his ranch hand waved. Dawson helped Zara down. His hands were warm and strong at her waist. They lingered just a heartbeat too long. For the next hour, Dawson introduced her to his horses. Spirit, his prize stallion. Midnight, the horse that had carried them. He spoke of them with a knowledge and love that impressed her. "Would you like to meet the new foal?" He led her to a small enclosure. A black mare stood over a wobbly-legged colt. "Hello, Mercury," Dawson said softly. The foal was black with 4 white stockings and a perfect diamond on its forehead. "Haven't named him yet," Dawson said. "What about Diamond?" Zara suggested. "Diamond, I like it. It suits him." The colt pranced, then tumbled. Zara laughed, a clear, joyful sound. Dawson turned to her, a full smile reaching his eyes. "You have a beautiful laugh," he said softly. Zara blushed. "Boss," a woman's voice called from the house. "Dinner's ready." "That's Molly, Luke's wife," Dawson said. "And she's a fine cook." As they walked to the house, Dawson offered his hand. She took it. Dinner was simple: roast beef, potatoes, apple pie. The conversation was easy. Luke and Molly were eager to hear about Boston. Zara was aware of Dawson watching her. After dinner, he suggested a walk. They walked up the hill behind the house. The view was panoramic, the entire valley. "This is my favorite spot," he said. "I come here to think." "What are you thinking about?" He turned to her, his blue eyes serious. "Us, the future." He took her hand. "Zara, these past weeks, when I'm with you, I feel complete." Her heart quickened. "I feel it too. I know what you left behind in Boston. My life here is simple. I can offer you a home, security. My heart, but not what you're used to. Dawson, I didn't come west for Boston. I came for something real. And I found it, in my teaching, and in you." His expression lightened. "You're sure?" "I've never been more certain." "I had a whole speech prepared," he said with a half-smile. "But words seem small." He reached into his pocket. "Zara Whitfield, I love you. I think I've loved you since you faced down those outlaws. Will you marry me?" He opened a small box, a simple, brilliant diamond. Tears welled. "Yes," she whispered. "Yes, Dawson, I will marry you." His smile was radiant. He slipped the ring on her finger. Then he gathered her in his arms and kissed her. It wasn't gentle. It was a promise. When they parted, he rested his forehead against hers. "I've wanted to do that since I helped you down from the stagecoach. It was worth the wait," he chuckled. "We should get back, before Mrs. Henderson sends a search party." They walked back, hands joined. The drive back to town was quiet. When they reached the boarding house, he helped her down. "Thank you for coming today." "I'll be busy with school tomorrow," she said. "I know. Maybe I could walk you home. Wednesday? I'd like that." He glanced up. Curtains twitched. "We have an audience," he murmured. "I know. Mrs. Henderson will have questions. Let's give her something worth asking about." He leaned down and kissed her, right there on the street. Brief, but unmistakable. "Good night, Dawson. Good night, Zara." She went inside, her heart too full to care about gossip. The first day of school was wonderful. 24 children, ages 6 to 16. Zara felt a deep satisfaction. This is what she came for. She was cleaning the blackboard after the children left. She didn't hear the door open. A shadow fell across her desk. She looked up. It was Sheriff Blackburn. His face was grave. "Miss Whitfield, sorry to disturb you. I need to speak with you." Her heart quickened. "Of course, Sheriff. Come in." He closed the door. "It's about the stagecoach robbery. We captured the last bandit this morning." "Oh?" He had some interesting things to say. "What sort of things?" "He claims the robbery wasn't random. Says they were hired. Hired to hit that specific coach." The sheriff's eyes were sharp. "He says someone paid them to make sure certain passengers didn't reach Grass Valley." A chill ran through her. "Certain passengers? You mean me?" Sheriff Blackburn nodded slowly. "That's what it sounds like, Miss Whitfield. Any idea why someone might want to stop you?" Zara was stunned. "None. I don't have enemies." "What about family?" the sheriff pressed. "Anyone object to you coming here?" "My aunt was opposed, but she would never." A memory surfaced. "My cousin, Philip. He was angry. He had expectations I might marry him." Would this cousin have the means to hire men out here? "He works for my uncle's shipping company. He has connections, funds." She felt sick. "I've seen men do worse," the sheriff said grimly. "Until we know more, be cautious. Don't go anywhere alone." "You think I'm still in danger?" "Hard to say. I've sent a telegram to Boston about this Philip. Until then, just be alert." He paused. "I've also informed Dawson. He has a way of knowing things. Figured having him keep an eye out can't hurt." Before she could respond, the door opened again. "Dawson." His expression was tense. "You told her," he said to the sheriff. "Just finished." Blackburn tipped his hat. "I'll leave you two." Dawson crossed the room in 2 strides. "Are you all right?" "I think so. It's just unsettling." "Blackburn told me about your cousin." Dawson's voice hardened. "If he's responsible, he'll answer for it." The protective edge in his voice warmed her. "Men like that," Dawson said, "they can't stand being denied what they think is theirs." "I never gave him any reason. It's not your fault, Zara." He offered his arm. "Come on, I'll walk you home." As they left, she was aware of the town watching. She knew, with absolute certainty, she was not alone in this. The next few weeks settled into a rhythm. Teaching. Evenings with Dawson. The sheriff got word from Boston. Philip Whitfield had, indeed, left the city abruptly. Ostensibly on business, it was suspicious. Zara found herself thriving. Her students were learning. The town had accepted her. Her feelings for Dawson grew stronger every day. One crisp Saturday in October, Dawson arrived with 2 horses. "I thought we might ride," he said. She changed into her riding skirt. They rode north, past his ranch, up into the foothills. The air was clear, the mountains sharp against the blue sky. They climbed higher, the views becoming spectacular. He helped her dismount at a small plateau. "This is just the beginning," he said. "There's a place I want to show you." They walked up a narrow trail. It opened onto a rocky outcropping. The view, it was the entire valley. "Oh," Zara breathed. "Worth the climb." "Absolutely." They sat on a flat rock. "I come here to think," he said, "to get perspective." He turned to her, his blue eyes serious. "What are you thinking about today?" "Us, the future, what I want, and what's right to ask of you." Her heart quickened. "Zara, these past weeks, I love you. I think I've loved you since you climbed down from that stagecoach." "Oh, Dawson, I know what you left behind. My life here is simple, but it's real." "It's what I want," she said. "I came west for something real. I found it in you." He shifted to face her. "Zara Whitfield, I love you." He reached into his pocket and withdrew the small velvet box. "Will you marry me?" The ring was simple, a brilliant diamond. "Yes," she said, tears of joy in her eyes. "Yes, Dawson, I will marry you." His smile was radiant. He slipped the ring on her finger. Then he gathered her into his arms. They kissed, sealing their promise. "I was so afraid you'd think it was too soon," he confessed. "In Boston, it would be scandalous," she smiled. "But here, it feels right." They made plans, a December wedding. As the afternoon waned, they rode back to town. Zara kept looking at the ring. "Let's stop at the sheriff's office," Dawson said. "Tell James the news." Sheriff Blackburn congratulated them warmly, but Zara saw a shadow cross his face. "Something wrong, James?" Dawson asked. The sheriff sighed. "Might as well tell you now. Got a telegram this morning, from the marshal in Cheyenne." He looked at Zara. "Seems your cousin Philip arrived there 2 days ago, asking questions about stagecoaches to Grass Valley." A chill went through her. "He's here, in Wyoming." "Looks that way," Blackburn confirmed. "Can't arrest him without proof, but I've sent word to the stage line to alert me if he books passage." Dawson's arm tightened around Zara's waist. "Let him come," Dawson said, his voice hard. "I'd like to have a word with the man who tried to have Zara killed." "Dawson," the sheriff warned. "Let me handle this." "Of course," Dawson agreed. But his tone was flat. As they left, Zara felt the tension in him. "Please don't do anything rash," she said. His expression softened. "I won't seek him out, but I won't stand by if he tries to harm you again." The news of their engagement spread like wildfire. Mrs. Henderson was ecstatic. That night, Zara wrote to her aunt. The shadow of Philip's arrival hung at the edges of her happiness, but she refused to be afraid. She had Dawson. The next morning, they attended church together. After the service, Reverend Wells announced their intention to marry. The congregation erupted in applause. As the crowd thinned, Zara spotted him. An unfamiliar figure, standing at the edge of the churchyard. A well-dressed man, observing them with a frown. Her breath caught. "Dawson," she whispered urgently. "That's Philip." Dawson's head turned. His posture went rigid. "Are you sure?" "Positive." Before he could move, Sheriff Blackburn appeared. "I'll handle this. Stay here." They watched the sheriff approach Philip. Philip straightened his suit, arrogant. After a brief, tense exchange, both men began walking toward them. Philip's expression was furious. The sheriff's was grim. "Miss Whitfield," the sheriff said, "this gentleman claims to be your cousin. He insists on speaking with you." Zara lifted her chin. "Hello, Philip. This is unexpected." Philip ignored Dawson and the sheriff. Zara, thank God I found you. Your aunt is beside herself with worry. She sent me to bring you home. I am home, Zara said firmly, and I have no intention of returning. She moved closer to Dawson, who put a protective arm around her. Philip, this is my fiancé, Dawson Ryder. Philip's face darkened at the word. Fiancé? Surely you're joking. You can't marry some frontier nobody. Dawson's arm tightened. Mr. Whitfield, I suggest you watch your tone. Or what? Philip sneered. Will you shoot me like you shot those men on the stagecoach? A hush fell. That's a serious accusation, Mr. Whitfield, the sheriff said. Were they? Philip's smile was ugly. Or were they just hired to delay the coach? Gunned down by this vigilante. You seem to know a lot about what those men were hired to do, Dawson said, his voice calm. Almost as if you had first-hand knowledge. Philip flushed. Mere speculation. Why are you really here, Philip? Zara interrupted. His mask of civility slipped. You know why. You were meant to be my wife. Your father promised you to me before he died. Zara stared at him. What? That's absurd. He never would have. He didn't want to pressure you, Philip said, his voice suddenly sincere. Fake. But he and my father agreed. It was his dying wish. I don't believe you, Zara said flatly. Someone like me? Philip's face hardened. I am your equal. This cowboy is beneath you. Come home now, and we can forget this. The lady has made her choice, Dawson said, his voice dangerously quiet. Leave. Philip ignored him. Think carefully, cousin. If you stay, certain revelations about your father's financial dealings might come to light. Revelations that could tarnish the Whitfield name forever. Zara felt as if she'd been struck. You're blackmailing me. Not lies, just indiscretions. My family has kept them quiet, but if you persist... Dawson stepped between them. That's enough. Leave. Now. Philip's hand moved to his coat pocket. I don't take orders from... The movement was deliberate. Sheriff Blackburn's gun was drawn and pointed at Philip before he could finish. Don't, the sheriff warned. Whatever you've got in that pocket, leave it there. Philip froze. This is outrageous. I am a respectable businessman. A respectable businessman doesn't try to draw a weapon in a churchyard, Blackburn said. Turn around, Mr. Whitfield. You're under arrest. I demand a lawyer, Philip protested as the sheriff handcuffed him. You can demand all you want from my jail cell. As the sheriff led a sputtering Philip away, Zara found herself trembling. Dawson led her to a bench. Are you all right? I can't believe he would. Threaten my father's memory. Is it true? No, she said. Father was scrupulously honest, and he never would have arranged my marriage. Dawson's expression darkened. I think it goes beyond desperation, Zara. The way he reached for his pocket. I think he came here intending to harm you. The thought chilled her. He can't hurt you now, Dawson said, squeezing her hands. He's in jail. Thank you for standing by me. Always. His hand brushed her face. Nothing and no one will come between us, Zara. Not your cousin, not the past, nothing. She believed him. Later, they rode out to the ranch. To clear our heads, Dawson said. Molly and Luke were overjoyed at the engagement news. Dawson took Zara to see the colt, Diamond. He'll be yours, Dawson said. A wedding present. Our ranch, Zara thought. It felt right. After dinner, Dawson took her hand. Let's walk. They went to the hilltop, where he'd proposed. The sun was setting. That's not what I brought you here to see, he said. He pointed to a flat area just below the peak. What do you think of that spot? It's lovely. I thought, If you like the idea, we could build our home there." Zara's heart swelled. "Our home? The cabin's too small for a family. I thought we could design it together, with a porch facing the sunset." "And big windows," she added, catching his excitement. "We could start right away." "It sounds perfect," she whispered, rising to kiss him. The weeks that followed were busy, planning the wedding, planning the house. Philip remained in jail, his protests growing louder. Zara received a letter from her aunt, shocked, but also hinting that Philip's claims about her father were, indeed, lies. October gave way to November. The first snows dusted the mountains. One Wednesday afternoon, Sheriff Blackburn appeared at the schoolhouse. His face was grave. "The circuit judge arrived," he said. "He's reviewed the charges against your cousin. And he's ordered him released." Zara sank into her chair. "What? So he's free? To try again?" "Not exactly," the sheriff said, a small smile appearing. "The judge may have released him, but he also ordered him to leave the territory. Immediately. He said his presence was disruptive. Philip's on the afternoon stage to Cheyenne, under escort." Relief washed through her. "He's gone?" "Should be. My deputy will see him onto the eastbound train." "Thank you, Sheriff." "Just doing my job. Besides, Dawson would have my hide if I let anything happen to his bride-to-be." Dawson arrived minutes later. He'd heard. "He's gone," Zara said, falling into his arms. "Good riddance," Dawson said grimly. "Now we can focus on our future." "Speaking of which," Dawson smiled, "the house foundation is complete. The framing begins next week." That Saturday they rode out. The framing was already underway, the skeleton of their future home taking shape against the sky. "I wanted to surprise you," Dawson grinned. The foreman showed them the layout, the spacious kitchen, the living area, the study, the bedrooms upstairs. "It's beautiful," Zara said. Later they had a picnic on their hilltop. "3 weeks until the wedding," Dawson remarked. "Having second thoughts?" "Not a chance." His expression grew serious. "Zara, before we marry, I need to tell you about the war." "You can tell me anything." "I told you I was in the cavalry. I was also a scout, sent behind enemy lines. I killed men, Zara, men who were just doing their duty. We did things, necessary things, that don't sit easy." He looked at her, his expression vulnerable. "I wanted you to know, to be sure you can accept all of me." She took his face between her hands. "Dawson Ryder, what you did in the war was your duty. It doesn't define you. What defines you is the man you are now, the man who protects this community, the man who loves with his whole heart. That's the man I'm marrying." The tension left his shoulders. "I don't deserve you." "You deserve happiness," she corrected. "We both do." He kissed her, a deep promise. "3 more weeks," he whispered. "Feels like forever." "It will pass quickly," she promised. "We have the rest of our lives." The wedding day arrived, December 15th. A gentle snow was falling. Mrs. Henderson helped Zara dress in her ivory silk gown. "You look beautiful, my dear. Radiant." Sheriff Blackburn arrived to escort her. "Miss Whitfield, you are a vision. Dawson is a fortunate man." The church was filled. The entire town. The music started. Zara saw him, waiting at the altar, his expression. It was awe. The ceremony passed in a blur, the warmth of his hands, the depth of his voice. "I now pronounce you husband and wife." He kissed her. The celebration at the hotel was joyous. As evening approached, a sleigh waited, decorated with ribbons. They glided through the snow-covered land, toward the ranch. "Happy, Mrs. Ryder?" Dawson asked, his arm tight around her. Completely Mr. Ryder. The cabin was warm, a fire blazing. Later they lay together, the firelight flickering. "What are you thinking?" he asked. "That I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. That everything, the robbery, Philip, all of it led me to this moment, with you. Fate," he suggested. "Or extraordinarily good fortune. Either way," he said, drawing her closer, "I intend to spend the rest of my days ensuring you never regret your decision. I already know I never will." 5 years later, Zara Ryder stood on the porch of their finished home. She watched as Dawson helped their 3-year-old son, James, sit on his first pony. In her arms, baby Elizabeth gurgled. The past 5 years had been full. The ranch had thrived. Philip had never returned. Sheriff Blackburn was an honorary uncle. "Mama, look," James called. "I'm riding." Dawson had stepped back, watching his son with pride. He glanced up at Zara, his smile reflecting her own joy. Dawson joined her on the porch, wrapping an arm around her waist. They watched their son. "Happy?" he asked. "More than I ever dreamed possible." She had come to this wild country seeking independence. She found it in the arms of the man who had saved her. The stagecoach robbery wasn't an end. It was just the beginning. If you enjoyed this story of justice and redemption on the frontier, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a video. And let us know in the comments, what do you think was the bravest thing Zara did? We'll see you in the next one.